As a rugby player, it can be really difficult to know how to structure your week, knowing what type of training to do, when to do it, what day and in what order. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. I'm going to show you how I structure my week and some of the rationale behind it. Now, I always start with the most important day of the week and then just work back from there. So in season, that's your game day, either on a Saturday or a Wednesday if you're a university player. But off season, you've got this whole free week. You don't have any club training, you don't have any match days, so it can be really hard to know what to do and when. Well, in that scenario, I just start with my most important training session and then work around that. The most important training session of the week for me is your speed training. The reason for that is speed is the fastest diminishing physical quality. And what I mean by that is if you're not sprinting at least once a week, technically you're getting slower. Sprinting at least once a week is vital for injury prevention, and you need to regularly sprint near your top speed to actually get faster. You have to run fast to get fast. Now, ideally you want to be as fresh as possible when you're doing your speed training, so at the start of the week. So I'm going to go ahead and put the first session of the week in, speed. And really, if you want to get the most out of your week, you want to be hitting speed at least twice a week. But you need a good gap between speed sessions to then be fresh for the next speed session. So I'm going to go ahead and put another speed session in on Thursday. Now, the next thing to think about, especially with speed, is where you put your lower body gym sessions in. I'd never do speed immediately after or even the day after a lower body gym session. If you're doing things like Nordic curls and RDLs, really loading up your hamstrings, and then you go out and try and sprint, that's a recipe for a soft tissue injury. You're just asking for a hamstring tear. Also, it's going to be really difficult to run near your top speed if you're fatigued from the squats you've just been doing. So lower body needs to go somewhere after speed, but you also don't want it too close to your next speed session. So that's why I would do lower body on a Monday after your speed session. You've then got at least 72 hours before your next speed session. And again, to get the most out of your week, you probably want to hit lower body twice. So I'm going to put it again after speed on Thursday. The other reason I do this is that you're clumping together your high intensity sessions. So you've got your high intensity days that are really fatiguing your central nervous system on your Monday and Thursday. And now we've got room for some more low intensity training, less fatiguing on your central nervous system. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. We obviously need to get some upper body in there somewhere. So you get your high intensity days here. Naturally, a good spot to put your upper body is on a Tuesday, and then to follow the same pattern on a Friday. Now we're hitting lowers twice, we're hitting uppers twice, we're getting a couple of speed sessions in, but you also need to do some conditioning work. You want to gradually build your running volume over off season to get ready for pre-season, and you just want to improve your fitness. But with your 2 speed sessions in mind, you probably don't want to add 2 more running sessions in because that's going to be 4 days of running in your week and it's going to be too much. So we're going to go for 1 run conditioning and 1 off feet conditioning. It will give you a good opportunity to target different fitness systems, maybe 1 session using more aerobic, another session using anaerobic. Now, because this gap between speed sessions is a little bit smaller compared to your Thursday and the following Monday, I'm going to go and put off feet conditioning in here. Could be something high intensity, short and sharp, like on a ski erg. And then I'm going to go and put run conditioning in on Friday after your upper body. That might be something a little bit more aerobic, tempo runs, things like that. So now you've got a pretty balanced week. You're targeting speed twice, you've got your lowers, uppers, you've got your high intensity days, you've got your lower intensity days where you're not fatiguing your central nervous system as much. And then for me, that would be it. That's probably the optimal amount you can do in your week. Especially in off season, people get that completely wrong. They don't put enough value in these days. These are your rest days. These rest and recovery days are so important. 1, so that you can actually recover before your next training session, which will allow you to bring the intensity that you need. And 2, you actually have to let your body recover from the previous training session to get the adaptation you're looking for. Now, obviously, we could go into more detail about what these sessions would look like, and they'd be targeting different things. Maybe you look at some more strength and power stuff on one of your lower body sessions, and then maybe you'd be looking at some more hypertrophy stuff. Same with your upper body. Or maybe you're a player that's strong enough, but you actually need to develop your power. So we'll look at more rate of force development stuff in different sessions, or plyometrics. Hopefully this gives you a rough template and a rough guideline about how I would structure my week or for my clients' training and some of the rationale behind it. If you've got any further questions, just drop me a message or have a look at my training programs on my website.